and 1. You can bring those knees on in. All right, I want to do leg circles by way of ab work. So you're going to think about really stabilizing the core. Go ahead and grab that TheraBand and put it around your right foot. And then just check your space that you have room to make circles with the legs without hitting anything like a coffee table or a neighbor. My TheraBand is twisted. So those of you with back trouble, it is smart to use a pretty stiff band here and keep your foot high up towards the ceiling, okay? And a stiff band is a green, even better is a blue or a black, if they're by the TheraBand brand. Okay, so I'm gonna anchor this left heel into the mat and then activate the core as if I'm doing a curl, that my spine is flat, drawing circles on the ceiling with that right foot. And now spiral out to a bigger circle, keeping that torso really stable. Exhaling, pulling navel to spine. Inhaling, expanding my ribs into the mat. Again, exhale, pull navel to spine. Find a good spot to pause. Let's start with a tiny circle in a second direction. So reverse, starting with a small circle on the ceiling, and then spiral out to a bigger circle. Stable torso here. Okay, if the hip flexor is getting tired and bothersome, take a break. Shake it out if you need to. We're gonna go into the second type of circle now. So still abs on, but I'm gonna lift the right hip when the right leg goes to the left side of the room. When I cross about where my nose is, right hip bone comes down, circle that right leg wide, cross the midline, lift the right hip, okay, and around, and lift. Getting that extra stretch in parts of the hip. Reverse one more time for me. Repeat that style, that when this right foot crosses midline to go left, you lift the right hip socket. Go about 4 circles in this direction. Last one. Good. Okay, and since we're circling, let's go ahead and knock out our IT band stretch. So taking this right foot over to the left side of the room. Try and keep that right hip socket on the floor. So if I was there with you, I could be pressing down on that right hip socket for you. Gently, but insistently. Okay, if you have sciatica, be real careful with this stretch. Same with, say, stenosis. If you have a fairly darn healthy low back, you can add on a point and flex here. You just want to watch out for any nerve pain, because that might stay with you longer than the workout. Okay, and then ankle circles, also for people with a really healthy low back. Okay, let's stretch glutes here too. So if the strap is still around that right foot, you're gonna take the left ankle in front of the right knee. Good. If you need more stretch and your tailbone's on the mat, bend the right knee into tabletop. Good. And then metaphorically pat yourselves on the back that you're starting day 1 of the new year with lots of right to left movements and instructions over Zoom. I'm always so impressed how you guys can follow along. One more big breath here, guys. All right, slowly on pretzel. And let's bring both feet into the bands and then widen the feet quite a bit. So you feel that inner thigh stretch. Lots of band in between the feet. My arms are pretty far off the mat, but my shoulders are still squeezed down the spine. So I'm not letting this go into the neck. Good. All right, let's practice some double inhale, exhale breaths here. So sniff in really big and twice. One more time. Good. Okay, now we're gonna migrate to Happy Baby. Happy Baby looks like so many different things for everyone. So go where it feels good to your body. If you can hold your straps tight towards your feet, awesome. If you can hold on to your feet, even better. But don't jam up the hip sockets while you're trying to get to your best Happy Baby. If Happy Baby feels good when you rock left and right, go for it. Good, and you can rock up and down if your body is drawn to that. Okay, finish up your last big breath there in Happy Baby. And then we're gonna bring the right foot out of the band and anchor that heel into the mat or the floor. Good. And then let's establish that healthy line of pull again. Elbows are gonna go into your mat so you can stabilize through the shoulders. Okay, and then we're gonna work on that really stable core. It's all core work. Using your big toe to draw circles on the ceiling. Start out pretty small, abs on. How still can your torso be as the leg circles? Spiral out to a bigger circle. Don't sacrifice that torso stability. Good. Where are things tight and hard to be symmetric? Go ahead and pause, and then we'll reverse. But start again with a really small circle here. Small circle. Good. Abs on. Exhale, pull that navel to spine. Spiral out. Good. Okay, now we're going to go into lifting that left hip socket. So when the left foot crosses midline and goes to the right, lift that left hip socket. And then when you cross midline a second time, bring the hip socket back down and repeat. Going about 4 times in this first direction. Listen to the hip flexors. Try not to get them too activated. Okay, this is about the 4th one. So you'll find a place to pause and reverse. Same idea. When that left foot crosses midline and you go right, lift that left hip socket. Good. And bring it back down. Going about 4 circles in the second direction. Abs on to help you manipulate where the pelvis and hip sockets are. Good. This is your last one. And then anchor those hip bones back nice and stable on the mat. Check your line of pull still through elbows and shoulder blades. And then bring that left foot across your middle to find your IT band stretch here. Okay, watch out for any nerviness. A little bit nervy is usually pretty darn healthy and a good place to be, but not past that. And sciatica, stenosis, you're gonna be real careful here. Okay, healthy low spines. You can add on the point and flex at the ankles. And ankle circles as well. Okay, slowly come to midline. Loosen up the band if that hip socket feels pretty tight. And then we'll go into your figure 4 stretch here. So this is right ankle over left knee. Most of us will bend that left knee into tabletop. Good. If you need more stretch, keep the tailbone on the mat, keep the torso symmetric, but bring the left knee in closer and press the right knee out, again, without twisting the pelvis. All right, some double inhale, exhale breaths here. How about 2 sets? Lovely. Okay, unpretzel, and then you'll put that band to the side. Good. And then from here, let's go into all fours. And I know all fours sometimes is challenging for your guys' knees. So say like, Jill, if you want to stand and put instead your hands on a chair, you could, okay? So this is your standing variation, guys. Otherwise, if you're comfortable on the kneecaps, you'll be here. And take all the time you need to get there. Good. All right. I always like to start with sternum drops here. So we're repeating that today. Sternum drops are with straight arms, and you squeeze the shoulder blades together and press them apart. Squeeze together and press apart. Good. Okay, as your practice advances, can you squeeze lower and lower between the shoulder blades? Almost like you're squeezing between or in this shoulder girdle, really low. Yeah. Be proud of yourself for that developing muscle control. All right, and then take it into cat and cow. Same movement if you're doing the standing variation. You're drawing your navel in and going into a back arch. Osteoporosis, you'll go back to neutral and then repeat, cat to neutral, cat to neutral. Non-osteo can go cat all the way into cow. Listen to your body, what a safe cow is. Exhale, pull navel to spine in those endpoints. So make it an ab exercise, using your abdominal muscles to move where those vertebrae are, and then support them in their destinations. Good. One more time all the way through. And then pause in your neutral. Usually that feels like halfway between cat and cow. And press away from the floor a little bit and squeeze the shoulder blades down. That's a really nice supported quadruped. Let's go into tail wags. So you're gonna lift the right ankle, but leave the knee on the floor. Okay, and off you go. I'm gonna demo it really quick for the standing folks as well. So this is your standing version. You just take one foot and you wag it left and right, looking over your shoulders. Okay, so stay there with it. Let's switch to your second foot. So for most of us, it's probably your left foot. Really work on that lateral spine bend, activating those obliques in front and stretching one side out. Good. Two more. Good. Okay, and then some circles here. They're gonna feel a little hard on the wrist. As long as you can tolerate it, it's good bone mass building. So you're taking your whole frame and drawing a bigger circle, shifting where your weight is around knees and hands. Keep depressing the scapula. It's the same exercise if you're standing. It's just you're shifting around hands and feet weight. Good. Find a good place to pause and reverse. There you go, guys. Good, last one. All right, and then we're gonna go into child's pose. This doesn't agree with everyone's knees, and I'll give you a variation to modify, okay? All right, so the modification if you're standing is just bending the knees and straightening out the arms. Exactly, Meryl and Jill, good job. Okay, from here, guys, walk your hands to your right, the right side of your chair, the right side of your mat. And then let's take 3 long inhales and exhales into the left side of our body. So this is working on your 1 lung breathing. One more time. And then walk your fingers through middle. See if you can lift up those palms. It will give you more stretch. And then walk your fingers over to the left. Now you can send out your right hip and shoulder. 3 long breaths, working on inflating the right side of your lungs. We have one client who had a breast cancer surgery, and this is one of her favorites. Really good to stretch out some of that scar tissue in your chest. Good. And now bring your fingers through middle. I'm going to keep demoing it standing because it's the same set of movements if you're in all fours on the mat. So return to your all fours stance here. You guys can't see all of me. There we go. Okay. So if you're kneeling, it's here. But I'm using an ottoman just to show a modification. Now thread your right arm under you and bend your left elbow and hold there. Keep breathing into that right side of your lungs. This is the on the floor version. Really yummy, yeah? You could add a foam roller to this one. We do that in the Sunday class. Good. All right, then come back through middle on the palms. Let's repeat, reaching the left arm under us to the right side of the room. Okay, same exercise if you're standing. Nice big inhales into the left side of your body. Think how strong you're getting your rib muscles, your breathing muscles. Good, okay. Slowly make your way out of this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna walk us through hip flexor stretches, both standing and kneeling. So let me get the kneeling folks situated here. You're gonna bring the right foot forward. Okay, left arm up, tilt the pelvis under. Yeah, you guys know this. We're religious about this one in all my classes. It's so good to undo life at the computer. Okay, seated folks or standing folks, I'm gonna drape my left leg off the side of my ottoman here. A chair is probably a better tool because see how squishy this is and I kind of slide? And I'm bringing my foot back. Good. I'm gonna point the camera a little bit down for you guys. Those of you who are kneeling, you still take note of this stretch. It's a good one to do when you're at the computer if your chair doesn't have armrest, okay? All of us are gonna try and keep the pelvis pretty level here. Okay, and now let's go into a side bend away from the stretch. So this is my left hand. I'm reaching it to the right side of the room. Yeah. Again, one long breathing, guys. We can breathe nice and deep into our left side here. And then rotate so you're looking over to the right side of the room. So rotation through the thoracic spine. Hips are still pretty stationary. And then think about your low back. Is that guy, are those vertebrae happy here? Good. Okay, take away the side bend, take away the twist. So you're just looking straight forward. And then you're gonna twist torso to look left. And that might create some inner thigh stretch on the front leg. This is the kneeling version here. Good. It's also a really nice balance challenge. So if you're just like doing this without thinking about it, be proud of your balance. Yeah. Okay, let's go through one more stretch here. Straighten out your front leg and then hinge towards it. Osteoporosis folks, you're gonna stay in your flat back. If you need a standing or seated version, you're taking that left leg forward, hinging at the hips and reaching to it. Okay, you could also do this one standing. The big key is the toes are off the floor, creating that calf stretch for you. Yeah, good. All right, let's make our way to the other side. We're gonna take just a little time to get there because we have lots of different needs. Maybe take some water in. So now we have the left foot forward, I believe. Okay, so if you're sitting in a chair, it's the right knee back, draping over the chair, and the foot can touch the floor, guys. No biggie either way there. Let's all see if we can lift the right hand up. Left hand can be used to balance you on something. So this would be the seated variation. Can you see that? Okay. Good. Nice big inhales into this right side of your body. And then gently side bend. It's a reaching side bend. Yeah. Reaching this right arm over to the left side of the room. Okay. Okay. And then add that twist. So you're going to be looking now to the left side of your room. Again, you guys rock this right to left over Zoom. It's hard. Give yourself credit. Good. And then come to center and drop the arms. Find your balance here. And then you're going to rotate now to look at the right side. Same stretch if you're seated using a chair. And you can press this left palm to the inside of the knee. Good. If nothing else, it's working on the rotation through your spine. So some twist. Good. Okay, one more big inhale, exhale here. And then look forward and lengthen out this front leg. Okay, if you're seated, it's now going to be your right leg that you straighten out. Those of us kneeling, it's our left. If you've gotten it confused, it's okay. You're still taking care of your body. All of us want to bring the toes off the floor. Heel is anchored into the floor. So if you needed a standing version, it's this. Osteoporosis, just stay in a flat back. Good. Okay, a double inhale, exhale breath here. Awesome. All right, from here, guys, I want to do a little bit more on the floor and then we'll end in some standing stuff. So if it takes you a little bit to get back to the floor, I appreciate you making the journey. And let's take it into a Z sit here. Z sitting. Z sitting is just this diagonal bent knees. Okay. If any of those pieces were not comfortable, you could straighten one or both legs. They're just off at an angle here. Some of you have your rollers at home and you could put that under this side. We're going to go out into mermaid. Always a big inhale when this side is open. Yeah. And then go into a rotation. Just make sure your lumbar spine is happy here. We're getting pretty loose and warm, so just don't overstretch into that. And then back to that lateral plane and sit tall. And some of us can counter stretch. Counter stretch just where you reach to the ceiling is awesome, okay? And then back to that lateral plane, rotate. You could even reach loose arm under stationary arm. And then back to the lateral plane, sit tall and counter stretch. Meryl and Jill, you know, you could do this one sitting in a chair or standing too. I just want to do a little bit on our stomachs in just a minute. So that's why I brought us down to the floor. Good. One more cycle all the way through. And then we'll do that to side two. I always think mermaids are just like the most delicious exercise. There's always some part of my body's like, oh yeah, that's what we need. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to bring your legs to the other side of the room. Same modifications apply here. If something in one of your knees is like, nope, not today, you can straighten. Okay, and then you're going to reach and rotate. Good. Sit tall, counter stretch. All right, make this your last cycle all the way through. Okay, and then we're gonna lie on our stomachs. So this is called prone. So lying on your stomach, let's do some shoulder blade squeezes as a way to open up the chest. If you didn't want to be down on the floor, you could certainly do these standing, okay? Just follow the cues. It'll be about squeezing the shoulder blades together. If you wanted to put a pillow under your forehead to rest on, you sure can. I'm going to be lifting my head to look at the camera and the screen, so don't feel like you have to duplicate my head movements. I'll have you start with bent elbows, palms face the floor, palms float just near your shoulders here. Exhale, pull navel to spine. That's the most important piece of all of this. And inhale, relax. Exhale, pull navel to spine, squeeze the shoulder blades. Okay, let's do 9 of those. 8, 7, 6, same exercise if you're standing. 3, 2, and 1. Now straighten your arms down by your hips or down by your thighs. Palms face the floor. Think of opening up your collarbones, opening up your chest. Exhale, pull navel to spine. Inhale, lower. Good. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, we're gonna do baby swan. It's a nice way to stretch out the abs and also work just a healthy little amount of spinal extension. I've been teaching a lot of you how to use the ball in this exercise. If you like that, go ahead and add the ball under your chest. I'm gonna demo without, just because I know everyone doesn't have balls, but it's a nice add-on. Okay, press palms and elbows now into the mat. There's no lifting of arms here. We're pressing them into the mat. Lift the chest up, bottom ribs stay on the mat. Inhale, lower. This is an osteoporosis safe version. And again, ribs slightly come off, but that bottom rib is always touching the mat. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press into the mat as you lift the chest. Really press those elbows into the mat and you'll get some nice work over the shoulder blades. Okay, let's go 5 and 4. Lift the chin, get that stretch in your neck and chest. 3, pull navel to spine. And 2 and 1. All right, osteoporosis and people who are happy with that amount of work, do another set of 5. If you want more abdominal stretch and you don't have osteoporosis, you can take this into a full swan and you'll do 4 reps there. Okay, so osteoporosis, you're staying here, guys. Non-osteo, we'll say that's 2. Tighten up those glutes as you lift. Pull navel to spine. That's your last one. Good. Okay, from here, let's take this into a quad stretch. So we did lots of hip flexor stretches. This is another way of getting at them. If you're standing on one foot and it's the same stretch, okay? This one can be hard if your knees don't flex, like you've had a knee replacement. So feel free to modify and do it however you like. I know some of you have some good tricks like standing and putting your leg on a sofa chair or sofa arm. If you need those modifications, just ask. Let's switch sides, guys. Okay, if you're lying on the floor and you're like, oh, I'm just ready for more stretch, this is the advanced version. Lift the knee and press the hip socket into the mat. You still got to pull navel to spine or else the low back goes kind of crampy, not so comfortable. Okay, so always support with pulling belly button in. Whew, one more breath. Great. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to give us lots of time to get off the floor. We're not getting back down on the floor. We're going to get up. So however that works for you, go for it. And come to standing. All right, I want to do another version of calf stretches, and then we'll just do my pretty darn standard gait work. And that might leave you ready to go on a walk around your neighborhood with a mask on and all that good stuff. I'm going to grab a chair just because you can, but you don't have to have a chair. You could use a wall or any old piece of furniture. As you guys have heard me say in Posture Perfect classes, I'm not a fan of chairs with wheels during exercise classes. Let me see if I can get that GCC there. Okay. I'm going to just send my right heel back and my right knee is straight. You guys can probably hear my cues before I say them. Check that your feet are hip distance apart. And then check that this back heel is actually indeed straight. So often the heel is turned in and our brain's going, yeah, that's straight. And then you look and you're like, no, it's not straight. Okay. And then let's check that our hips are the same height off the floor. So forward view is here, not there. Check you don't twist that right hip forward either. Okay, from here, let's get a little more Achilles stretch. You're gonna slightly bend the knee and straighten. Slightly bend the knee and straighten. If you can, look down. Is that knee bending straight ahead? A lot of us have a movement pattern where we bend our knees in. This is a great exercise to work to correct that. Same correction if you bend your knee out to the side of the room. Okay, this is where the gait work comes in. If nothing else, keep this back knee straight the whole time. Press up to the ball of the foot and lower. Good. So it's not moving the hips around. It is the whole upper body shifting as one piece though. This back knee stays straight. Lay that heel down straight in parallel. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's switch sides. Okay. If you worry about having a shuffling gait where you just kind of slide across the floor, this is an exercise that can help you regain some normal gait function. Okay. All right. So I'm checking visually that left heel. It is in parallel. My feet are still hip bone distance apart. Good. One more big breath here, and then let's bend that left knee ever so slightly. The heel doesn't come up. You visually check that that knee bends straight forward. Good. 4 and 3, 2, torso is steady. I'm a bit hinged forward at the hips. Okay, let's do that gait exercise. So back knee, left knee is straight. Press up to the ball of the foot and then lower. As you get more balanced over time, this chair is just here as like a safety extra piece. You can lift your hands off it. You don't have to lean weight into it. If you're not there today, don't worry. You're striving towards that. Good. And 3, and 2, and 1. Okay, let me show you where this goes next in case you feel like playing with it in your living room. I'm going to go into that same split stance. This back knee is straight. And then I'm going to press up to the ball of the foot, bring that leg through. Do the same on the other side. My heel is still down. Now I press off of it. Come on through. This is part of my warm up before I go jogging. Telling my body, move your legs with intention, and then walking across the room. I will tell you, the slower you go, the more a balance challenge it is. See, right there. Can you balance on one leg? So if you have a galley kitchen, that's such a good place to practice this because you can hold on to things on either side. And again, this is just walking across the room, guys. All right. I can't believe it, but our time together is up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this New Year's Day celebration of movement. Hoping you feel looser and that your core is on. And I said this in yesterday's classes, but this year or last year, didn't end up being as terrible at all as it could have been. It was pretty darn okay for our family, and I have you guys to thank for that. And that I could keep working, that I could meet so many of you over Zoom, and just had something so positive to work with and work towards every day. So thank you. Do keep in touch of what would help you kick this new year off. And if you want to see certain things in classes, or if you just need help with some part of movement, that I can assist. All right, guys, enjoy your New Year's Day. Just hope it's a wonderful day and be in touch. Mwah. Happy New Year.
New Year.
Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you. Happy New Year, Virginia.
Thank you, Pam, and everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.